and go.
You can get mad if you want, yeah, I said it, it's the Brown said that sends you out head first, forget it. Just pretend it's a dream. If you get offended, line of scrimmage, I'm out here on beast mode, defensive. Stop acting light-skinned and pretend that I'm joking in my taker hat. Dropping with the slam when I choke them. I'm the captain of flagship role, killing them softly. If it ain't ice coffee or double D's, you lost me. It's big road season, yeah, I said. And I don't have to give a reason, yeah, I said. And all that blah, 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 you can dead it, baby. It's all facts out here, cause yeah, I said it. It's big road season, yeah, I said. And I don't have to give a reason, yeah, I said. And all that blah, 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 you can dead it, baby. It's all facts out here, cause yeah, I said it.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to another episode of Keeping It Real with Big Roll in the AM. I am your host, Big Roll, a.k.a. Mr. Yeah, I Said It, a.k.a. Stevie Wonder's nephew. Bringing you the laughs this morning. I hope all of y'all are well. Today's episode is being brought to you on the Big Exclusive Network. For those of y'all who missed yesterday's show, I had on Big CEO Shannon Exclusive Reynolds. Really broke it down about the upcoming changes for the network, folks. In essence and whatnot, it's been given away for a little while now for free. Now we asking for a tiny fee to continue to entertain y'all and just appreciate the support that y'all give us. So make sure you check out yesterday's show because it really broke down what's going on as far as the changes in the network. And shout out to my man Shannon for coming through, showing that love and whatnot for an hour, breaking everything down. Today's episode is being sponsored by Q the Tire Doctor. Q is located at 1961 North 29th Street. That's 29th and Sedgley in North Philadelphia. For you folks who are down there, you know Q can take care of all your tire needs. Q has new tires, used tires, and he also specializes in tire repairs. So make sure, stop putting air in that tire every other day, every other 2 days. Go over to Q the Tire Doctor, tell him you got a slow leak. Have him take care of you when I get you rolling right. Let me see. Shout out to the Big Exclusive Podcast every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Big Shannon, Angry OG, Tyrese Top Flight, Dope Show. I say it all the time and whatnot. Dope Show. Can't go wrong watching the Big Exclusive Podcast on Tuesday nights. Make sure you check it out, 9 p.m. Show them brothers some love. Shout out to my man Poppy Montega, hold it down on Sundays with his show Smoking Mirrors. Poppy and whatnot, just bringing the knowledge to you folks and whatnot, opening your eyes on a lot of things. Trust me, I tell you one, it's a very educational, enlightening, learning show. Check out my man Poppy Montega every Sunday night, 9 p.m., Smoking Mirrors. Be on the lookout for that new show, Foreplay with B, with Miss Bianca Monroe and whatnot. In the conversation yesterday, with Big Shannon and whatnot, he also let go that basically when B. Monroe's show dropped, it will coincide with the exclusive release of the Big Exclusive Network, which is dope, and rightfully so. B show is going to be dope, y'all. I need y'all to make sure y'all tune in. We'll get that information to y'all shortly. Let me see. What am I missing? Hey, Shannon, can we cue that up real quick? Got a little plug for y'all real quick with my man Flight.
Hey, y'all, what's going on? It's your boy, Comedian Top Flight. We got some breaking news. Guess what, y'all? I will be shooting my comedy special November 4th, 5th, and 6th. We're doing 4 shows. 4 shows. 1 show Friday, 2 shows Saturday, 1 show Sunday. November 4th at the Clariton Hotel. This is a live taping. Yes, live taping. So come bring your best outfits. Come out, have a good time. It's your boy, Comedian Top Flight. I just signed the deal. It's going down. The live taping. November 4th, 5th, and 6th. 4 shows. It's going to be crazy. Come on out and keep minding your business. Big shout out to my man Big Roll in the Morning Show. Yes, sir.
Try to sneak Flight in and whatnot. What people don't know is Top Flight is really a security guard. He tried to sneak in and try to plug the show at work, and it didn't work out. So I told him to record that for me, and I'm going to play it again at 9:30 when I get you all that information. Trust me. Dope shows. Y'all don't want to miss them. And 4 opportunities, you can't miss them, man. Can't miss him at all. And finally, shout out to Angry OG, aka Lamont McIntosh, basically the glue that holds us all together. Got to pay homage to the old school. Shout out to my man OG. Let me go to the comment section real quick, check in with the family. Morning, cuz. Shout out to Janae Doe. Good morning, Miss Sams. Angry OG salute. Temporarily. Long story. Yeah. Top flight, good morning, bro. Salute. This nigga, man. I knew y'all niggas were gonna say something. Poppy Monte, good morning, bro. Morning, Sonia Carroll. You went from home to the kitchen to the bathroom. Miss Lisa Carter, how you doing, dear? Oh, man, y'all ain't shit. Love y'all, though. Morning, Simba. Love you, son. How you doing this morning, man? See, everybody's good. Everybody's here. Morning, BB. Good morning, Miko. Good goddamn morning. And Lisa Carter's commenting on the new space. Temporary. Long story. Let's see. So, folks, today I have a very interesting show. Hi, dear. Good morning, little sis. Good to see you as always. Today's show is going to be very interesting. Very interesting. Bringing in a special guest, a friend of mine who went up from high school, who just wrote his first book, and his story is it's quite intriguing. It's quite intriguing and whatnot. Today's guest will be Mr. Charles DeLeon. Charles is a mental health counselor and motivational speaker who has worked with Children's Crisis Treatment Center for at least 18 years. He is currently the clinical supervisor for their preschool age partial hospitalization program called the Therapeutic Nursery, which is dope. For over 10 years, he has trained mental health professionals and schools in trauma and formal care. He is also an advocate for mental health wellness. Got to definitely listen to these accolades. This boy got a lot of got a dope what's the name? Charles grew up in North Philadelphia. As a first-time author, his book titled Little Charlie Unbroken details his struggle and triumph and healing from his childhood sexual abuse. Wow. So I wanted to bring him on today, talk about his background, talk about his book, share it with the family. So without further ado, I want to bring on my man, Mr. Charles DeLeon.
Big Ro.
Morning, sir.
Good morning to you, man. Good to see you.
Good to be seen, sir. Good to be
Yes,
seen.
sir.
Yo, man, reading off your bio. That's a hell of a trip you got there, man.
Well, you know, we're a little older now, Roland. We're not in high school anymore, so there's been some living there.
Okay. I mean, it's very impressive, man. Very impressive, man. You know, mental health, wellness, and whatnot. I mean, you know, there's not a lot of folks who whatnot who get into that field.
Yeah, you know, this field is largely dominated by women,
Okay.
um, probably 3 to 1,
Hmm.
and I think mostly that's because um, I think men don't really value um, communication as much as women until we reach a certain age, right? When we reach a
Okay.
certain age, then we realize that hey, maybe the way we've been doing things doesn't work, right? And I think that just kind of goes back to how we're kind of socialized, not just at home, but just in culture. Boys are supposed to be tough. If you're hurt, you're not really supposed to cry. Let's
Mm.
not talk about it. Just bury it and just figure it out. While girls are taught to be nurturing and express themselves and things of that nature, so they get to flex those muscles more than guys do. And I think that ultimately is why there's so much more women in this field as opposed to men.
Gotcha. Well, you definitely got the background of a saint, man. Again, your resume concerning that field is quite impressive. I mean, mental health counselor and advocate for mental health wellness. Where did the influence for you to join that field? Where did that come from?
So, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of fell into the field. Um, so, prior to that, I was a Marine. So, I did join the United States Marine Corps.
Damn.
And so, my goal, quite honestly, was to get into law enforcement. So, and really the FBI. But
Damn.
you have to have a bachelor's degree. So I didn't go back to school to get my bachelor's until I was 28. So the goal was to have a job while I get my bachelor's so I can get into FBI. And then what I realized was because I thought that was my purpose. I thought that I was a helper. I wanted to help people, and I thought that I could do that in law enforcement.
Hmm.
When I started working at Children's Crisis Treatment Center, what I realized was I could have a bigger impact on the community working with youth
Wow.
and keeping them out of the criminal justice system than I could have any type of impact in being in law enforcement.
Nice. Well, I'm pretty sure. I mean, are there goals that you set now that you've made the change and you're committed to the field that you're in now? Are there any goals that you have you kind of like want to reach in your profession now? I mean, because with a resume like that, I mean, like where how much more upwards growth do you have, or
Yeah,
do you like doing what you're doing now?
yeah. So yeah, the only goal right now for me is to help as many people as I can reach. I think that you know we all try to find this elusive thing we call happiness, right?
Hmm.
And what I've come to realize is that the reason that happiness is elusive is because it's not really a state of being, right? You can't always be happy because it's not always appropriate to be happy. If you're at a funeral, it's not appropriate to be happy, right? And it's just a feeling, an emotion like everything else. Like hate, like love, everything, emotions fade. They just do. So what I realized is what I needed was purpose. And when I found my purpose in life, I found joy, right? So, and that sustains me. The joy of what I do, of helping people, um, that's kind of the goal now. It's not um, anything from the outside. Like, there's not a position that I could get that's going to bring me joy. That's not going to do it for me at this point. What does it for me is seeing people succeed, um, seeing my people who are my subordinates grow and move on, seeing the clients I work with reach a state where they can be productive and enjoy living life. So that's kind of the goal for me at this point.
Nice. So, you wrote a book.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the book, sir. What's the book about?
So it's a memoir of a bit of my life, and it kind of just chronicles my struggle of recovering from sexual abuse. So, and I really didn't realize the impact that something that happened to me as a child had throughout my life. And I don't think, especially men, we don't talk about this, right? We don't talk about things that make us feel vulnerable, right? Because
Right.
it exposes us. And,
Right.
and typically when we do, right, we make jokes about it, or we get stoic and we just, being in the present to be enough. But so I was sexually abused by my father when I was 5.
Wow.
And it lasted for about a year. My mom, he was abusive to the whole family. Like he used to punch my mom out and stuff. So finally, my mom left, and when we were separated, the abuse stopped. And I was too young and scared to say what happened to me at the time. A lot of it was confusing for me. I was so young, I really didn't know. And the thing is, like, I've had, yeah, I've been married, and you know my wife. I've been married to my wife for 25 years now,
Wow.
and our relationship has been a struggle, especially early on because I didn't realize the issues that I was having communicating or articulating my needs and wants, and making her feel safe and secure in the marriage. And all my difficulties communicating and building true relationships really link back to my abuse
Okay.
and the things that I did to survive in the moment at the expense of living a rich life long term. And it's not a calculated decision, right? Survival is a reflex,
Okay.
right? So when you're surviving, you do whatever it takes to get through the moment. And the thing about that is it's not sustainable,
Mm.
right? Living in survival mode is not sustainable. You get tired. And so 30 years after I was abused, I went to therapy.
30
So,
years.
so I was 35 years old when I finally went to therapy for my abuse.
Wow.
And on the average, men wait from the point they disclose to the point they get help 20 years on the average.
Wow.
And, sexual, and look, the impact of sexual abuse is broad, and it's any type of abuse. I mean, we're talking about not just psychological symptoms. We're talking about health. We're talking about heart disease. Obesity.
Damn.
All these can be linked back to abuse, childhood abuse. Um, so the longer that we stay in this state, right, the longer we're going to have poor relationships, or we're going to feel like we don't have fulfilling relationships, or we find a lack of motivation or happiness in life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all these things come from these unresolved issues in childhood.
Damn. Didn't know that, bro. Just learned something.
Yeah,
Just learned
but
something.
well, you keep, again, we keep that stuff private, right? We don't talk about that. And I think in high school, I was at a point where I was just really starting to struggle with it, right? And the Marine Corps gave me a little bit of an outlet, right? Because
Okay.
if you're, doing this physical stuff and doing all this great stuff, and you're being um, applauded for being this aggressive person, then you're like, yeah, I'm good. I've overcome what happened to me. In your mind, that's what you're thinking.
Right.
But in those quiet moments, that's when it kind of gets you, right? In those intimate moments, like my wife for a long time felt like I didn't love her. Um, like she was just like I just kept her around because we had children, and that's my fault that she felt that way.
So it affected not only you, not only your physical health, as well as your mental health, but those around you.
Yeah, yeah, affects how I raised my children early on. Being the helicopter parent, making sure being hyper vigilant, making sure I knew who was around them and who couldn't be around them. Um, and I kept this, I had this facade, right? I had
Right.
this um, that I kept. I needed people to think that I was perfect. I needed people to think that I was this always righteous person. I needed them to because if they saw that, then I had some value. I didn't believe I had value, right? So even to my wife, what I was doing was, and she could see the shit was phony, right? Um, and because I felt like if she knew the real me, she wouldn't love me. I still kept her in arm's length. You know,
Mm. And all this is because of the abuse you went through with your dad.
yeah. It all went back to that. So I can. So in the book, I discussed some of my issues. Right, I had sexual reactive behaviors, which means is I touched other kids when I was a kid. Um, And then once I was told that's bad, no, don't do that, I stopped. But I didn't know it was being done to me, right? So I didn't know it was a bad thing. I had that probably around the same time I was being abused. I was doing that, and then my mom found out. Somebody told that I touched somebody, and I got whooped. And then I
Right.
stopped. So must be bad. I can't do this no more. But then I had other things like my relationship to sex was distorted, and then sex to me became more of a punishment um, of myself and defying myself than it was about bringing pleasure. Um, so my relationship to sex became a problem, and I had issues with masturbation. I had issues with um, porn, and these aren't things that are outside the scope of what happened to men, but it was really an issue.
Right.
Um, and it's the triggers, right? The triggers were anything that got me aroused, and by aroused I mean just elevated. So if I was angry, I felt like I had to masturbate. If I was sleepy, I felt like I had to masturbate. Anything, any change in behavior, it was like a need to do that, and all that stems from my abuse. Um, and then obviously that caused issues in intimate relationship with my wife.
Did this, in other words, so is your book, is it your book about you, Charles?
Yes, yeah, it's about
What made you, decide that you wanted to put that into a literature form
yeah.
and share that? Because I mean, bro, you didn't share a lot of shit this morning. And I thank you for that because you brave for that.
I
Real
appreciate
brave for that one. And I totally respect you for that. So tell me, like in other words, so it influencing the book. The book is solely about what you went through in your youth.
Yeah. Well, well, it starts at 5 and it comes to current day. Because the struggle's constant, right? It's never healing to me. Well, let me tackle your first question actually. So
Okay.
why did I write the book? So I started writing it in October, and I just reached a point where I felt that um, I have an image, right? Because I've done a lot of work on myself, and I'm a very positive, optimistic person now. I love life. I love helping, and I think that people see me as um, this person who might have fell out of the sky this way, right? That I didn't have to work, and it's absolutely the opposite, right? I've done a lot of work on myself, and I was having a conversation with somebody, and I don't want to disclose who that person is, but and they were looking and they were talking, they were mad at me like, you're this perfect person, and you do this and you've done that and you've done that, and I'm like, yeah, that's not where I started. I started where
Wow.
you're at, right?
Wow.
So I was like, you know what? I want to write this book and I want to be honest. I don't want people to read this book and be like, yo, this guy's awesome. I want people to read this book and be like, oh shit, he went through that too. So my book is raw because my feelings about my abuse are still raw. I would be lying to you if I told you that I am 100% okay with what happened to me. I am not. And I still struggle with some of the symptoms from that abuse, right? Um, but I just felt that if I wrote that book and somebody who's been struggling with, and it doesn't have to be sexual abuse, but struggling with something that seems to affect their character, and they would read that book and be like, "Yo, if he can do it, and he's just the average Joe, then I can do it." And that was kind of the goal of the book.
Amazing. Amazing. Man, if I didn't, already have love and respect for you already, it definitely went up after this, man. What I like to do though is I don't have fans, I call them family. I want to see if anybody in the comment section has any questions for you because, bro, you covered all mine. You covered all mine, man. I got maybe two more and whatnot, but let me see what's up in the comment section. Folks, if any of y'all got any questions for my man Charles, I'm going to definitely drop them in right now. My man Big Exclusive said, was writing the book part of your therapy and healing?
Good question. It became that. I don't think that. So I thought about things that I haven't thought about in a long time, bro, and then to put them in the book, and then also to remember that emotionally I connected to those feelings again, right? I, I've gotten to a point in my healing where I don't have to stay there, right, emotionally. But I reconnected to those feelings, and yeah, it hurt a little bit, but it also healed because I never really put my philosophy down on paper and never really um, kind of thought about it that way. But in writing it, what this is kind of my philosophy on how you heal and what healing means and how we can all achieve purpose in life and fulfillment. So part of this was, yeah, it was definitely some healing in that, but I wasn't expecting. But yeah, it definitely did that.
Bro, I'm not seeing a lot of questions. What I'm seeing is a lot of admiration. I'm seeing a lot of folks saying thank you. I'm seeing a lot of folks and whatnot thanking you for sharing your story. Like Miss Kimberly Frazier said, thank you for your transparency. This is an extremely hard topic to open up about, especially a bunch of strangers. She commends you. And that's the fucking truth. Of course, Serena, our Edison girl said Edison strong, no doubt. Miss Lisa Carter, thank you for sharing your story. Sonia Carroll said, this is heavy. I'm extremely humble and thankful to Charles for sharing. Big Shannon actually has another question. He says, do you believe if there were more men in the profession, more men would get help? I personally struggled with the first one, and part of it was a woman. Wow.
Um,
Wow. Good
yeah,
question, Shannon.
yeah. I think I don't know. That's yeah. I think that we have to so I think that men have to start supporting each other through these type of emotional and mental health issues. We have to stop with that always being macho. There's a place for that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get it twisted. There's a place for masculinity. I embrace being masculine, and it doesn't mean that I'm less masculine because I feel vulnerable at times. Um, and I think that that is the part that we miss out on. I remember when my boys were young, I was super hard on them because I said life is hard and you have to be hard.
Right.
Uh, and then once I went to therapy and started seeing that, I kind of did the reverse, right? And then as they got older, I kind of find a nice medium. And I think that the more we get comfortable with being uncomfortable, the easier it is. And I think that you have to make a conscious effort to want to get help, a conscious effort to um, sit in those moments because otherwise you won't do it. It doesn't matter if you go to therapy if you're not fully committed, right? It's not go to work if you're not fully committed because you're going to half-ass it, right? I was to a point in my life where, and the only reason, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, the only reason I went to therapy and got help because my wife tried to get me help for a long time, and I kept saying, "Yeah, I'll do it. I'm do it." First, I said no. Then I said yeah. Then I said yeah, and then she left me, and she said, "We can't talk about getting back together until you get help."
Wow.
So it was like
Wow.
she loved me enough to walk away from the marriage, right? So if she didn't do that, I might have still been saying, I'm going to go, but not yet, right? Uh,
Denial?
definitely, definitely denial, fear, because I'm going to be dead honest, for a long time, I felt like I was a piece of shit. And I was scared that if I went to therapy, my facade would fall down and everybody would see I was a piece of shit. So it was ingrained in me because how could I not be a piece of shit, right? If God let this happen to me, I couldn't make that connection, right? So it had to be I had to be evil. I was being punished for something. This is why I'm still struggling, right? And this is the mind frame that I had at 35. At
35.
35, having a family, being married for probably 12 years at that point, being a Marine, you know what I mean, working in the mental health field at that point. And this is the thoughts that I had of myself, right? And it wasn't until I got to therapy and was honest and did the work on myself that I realized that none of that was true, right? I don't need to show you something tangible to find my worth, right? There's nothing that I can do that's going to make my wife love me more. There's nothing that I can do, right? Except keep doing what I'm doing now, right? Doing my part, right? Living life with her, right? Making her a priority. Those things I already was doing, right? What I wasn't doing was sharing me. I wasn't giving her all of me. I wasn't being honest. I wasn't being honest. We would, bro, we would talk and she would get upset. And what I would do is just shut up.
Mhm.
I would shut down, disassociate, and she would yell and scream. She would curse. She would say shit to get me upset, and I would do no emotion. I would just sit there, and she would get mad and
Oof.
walk. I would just wait her out, you know. And if a guy came up to me and said some stuff, we could just throw down. You know what I mean? I had no problems with that,
Right.
but I wasn't gonna lay hands on my wife, right? So with her, I just shut up and then it just,
Damn.
you know what I mean? So yeah, you just have to be ready and open. And I kid you not, at first it's difficult. At first you don't want to go, especially when you feel when that scab comes off. You're like, fuck, this is worse. Now I feel worse than I did before I got here. Why the hell am I
Right.
here? But the other side of that, yo, once the dust settles, man, you become enlightened. You become enlightened about what you need and what you want in life.
Well, you
Um,
know what? Let me, if I can, I apologize for cutting you off,
oh,
but I got three important questions
yep.
that tie right into what you're saying. First of all, how do we get a hold of your book? And what is the title of it again?
So the title is Little Charlie Unbroken, and you can find it on Amazon. The paperback is available now, and the Kindle version will be available starting tomorrow.
Okay.
If people, for those who want digital books.
Wow. Got you. Now, Miss Sonia Carroll asks, again, tying in with what you were just saying, what methods do you use now to help the healing process continue?
Yeah. So my message is usually tailored to whoever I'm speaking to, but in general, I think that the first thing we have to be able to do is be kind to ourselves. People who have to do healing generally you also done a lot of hurting, right? So we look at the things that we've done and we kill ourselves for it. We're like, I did this, so I deserve this. None of that is true, right? And I'm not saying that what a person did was right and they may be absolutely wrong in what they did, but in order to heal, you have to be able to be kind to yourself, accept responsibility, and take accountability for those wrong that you've done, right? And you need to do that before you can move on. Anybody who's not ready to accept accountability is not ready to heal.
Damn. I hope they heard that. Um, My man Big Shannon wants to know your thoughts as a professional on toxic masculinity and the root of it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be honest. I don't. I know what toxic masculinity means. I don't really subscribe to that thinking. What I do believe is in um, limiting masculinity. I believe there's a side of masculinity that limits our growth, right? We're talking about people who are homophobic, people who are abusive, trying to control through violence and misogyny. Those are limiting things of masculinity. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I think we label them as toxic masculinity, and I think when we do that, then we don't know where it starts and where it's and what part of masculinity is good and what part is toxic. So, I like to use limiting masculinity um, because if you're really masculine, if you're truly masculine, you're a protector, you're a provider, right? You're a nurturer, right? You you look to do service. You don't look for accolades. You don't do things to get pat on the backs. You do them because they need to get done, right? Masculinity is beautiful, you know, and it's needed in society.
Hey man, side note,
Yeah.
some guy named Raul Valentine is stopping by to show his support to my Edison brother, much love Charles De Leon, and Big Roll. Now give me 2 laps. Raul, I got you, man. I got you. I got you.
What's up,
So,
brother?
so
Love you, man.
listen, Miss Khadijah wants to know: are you doing any public book signings?
I'm
Because this is
working.
major.
Yeah, we're working on it. We're looking at right now the second Friday in September, but um, we haven't finalized anything. When I do, I will definitely pass on that information.
Make sure you do, because I will promote that here, and I know my family will definitely come out to support you, bro. No question. I think a lot of folks learned a lot of stuff today. I mean, I can't tell you enough. What we measure men as far as how brave they are by the violence they might commit and stuff like that. Like I tell me somebody who's willing to put their guard down and tell you some shit about them, and that's the bravery that I respect to the fullest. And
Man,
what you did today, man, I know for a fact not a lot of guys are gonna did what you did today. Like you really opened up, man. And I like I said, man, I love you even more and respect you to the fullest for you coming on my show and blessing us with this. So whatever you need, we got you. Whatever support you need, we got you. And hopefully you come back on the show and elaborate further on whatnot on the topics we discussed today, man.
absolutely, man. Anytime.
Hey, Charles, man, thanks for spending this time with me, bro. Number love for you, man.
Thank you, brother. Love you, man. You look
Tell the
good.
wife, tell the wife I said what's up.
I will. Yo, so she telling me she wants to link up, so I'm gonna send you a message.
Let me know what's up, man.
Okay.
All right, my brother.
All right, man.
Wow. Wow. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. It's crazy, man. Please do, Miss Khadijah Sams. Big Roll, would you mind if I invited him on my platform? Listen, Charles De Leon, that's his name on Facebook. Send that friend request. Or I can make sure I make the link as far as you two go. Because man, that's major. That is major. I mean, I knew some of what he was trying to do as far as that book goes. I knew some of the things that he had been through. But wow, wow. I already had respect for that brother. Um, it's very touching, man. It's very touching, and I just can't say it enough how much I respect that dude. Can't say it enough. Indeed, indeed, indeed. I definitely want to get a hold of that book. And y'all being a dope audience, dope family as always, man, with the great questions and the great support, man. You know, that was awesome. Let me do a quick time check, y'all. Somebody throw the time in there. I ain't got my watch on today. Good stuff. Good stuff. Man, oh man, oh man. $9:41. Scott Summers, what's good, man? Folks, if any of y'all got, appreciate it, Monique. I'm telling you, I'm open to any ideas, y'all. Any ideas for any topics, something that you feel as though is important that isn't being discussed. Always drop the info in my inbox. Real talk. Like Shannon was discussing yesterday, man. What makes this work is the feedback and the interaction from y'all. From time to time, I'll have guests on by my choosing because I feel as though that it's some vital information that needs to be out there, or that person could touch one of my listeners. That's what I'm looking for. But again, I'm very open-minded as far as any topics y'all might have. Always just if you want to drop it in my inbox, do so. Yeah, man. I'm stuck. Steve Wilkos is coming for you, nigga. Tell him bring his bald-headed ass on. That's crazy. That is crazy. I don't know. It seemed like this week went kind of fast, man. Tomorrow's Friday. Got another guest coming tomorrow. Stand tall. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, man. I got Nova Moolah coming tomorrow. I never usually give my guest up a day ahead, but Nova Moolah's coming tomorrow. Stand tall. So make sure you tune in. Oh, man. So, I mean, folks, as always, anybody got anything they want to share, any kind of businesses or, something that you do, you got links, drop them in the comment section. Always willing to help as far as promoting somebody's stuff if they watch me regularly. That's love. You show me some love, I got to show you some love back. So, most definitely. Any businesses you got? I apologize, y'all. It's been a rough night. Any businesses you got? Anything and whatnot you want to throw in there? Put the camera for this man. Everybody want to be a comedian and shit. Everybody want to be a comedian. Khadijah's filming a movie. Khadijah, talk about it. Monique is getting a Brazilian butt lift in the front. Wow. Khadijah Sam's currently filming her first movie, A Body to Kill. Nice. Check out Miss Sonia Carroll's Backyard Diamond Shop. It's her site, www.paparazziaccessories.com, and a bunch of numbers. So, Monique, you getting the fat sucked out of your titties? Or you getting the fat sucked out of your ass and put into your titties? I mean, you do got some little titties. Everybody can't have big old titty balls. You're going to be all right. Little touch. Poppy Montego got a rap competition on the 27th. Need a fan to be there. It's free. Where's it going to be, Poppy Montego? Where's it going to be? Monique has a 42 double B. Interesting. Khadijah, that's dope. A body to kill for. Yes. And we freestyle Bucktown and bullshitting, Jason. End of the show. This one was a doozy, though. Jason, what you got coming up, man? Any kind of things you want to promote? Any shows? Drop them in the comment section. $19.19. Where's that at, Pop? Like, what part of the city is that in? 1919 Madeira Avenue. I never heard that before. Hey, OG, Scott Summers got out early on parole, man. I think he might have snitched. He's supposed to do 60 days, man. They got out in 26. Bobby said the show's in Uptown. Freeway supposed to be one of the judges. That's dope. Dope. We can make that happen. I mean, definitely got to sit there and come and support. Monique is starting a big booty plus strip club named Big Butt Beautiful on the Boulevard. I'd like to see that. Nice, Khadijah. Nice. Bobby said to come. It's PHU Kinfree. I see you, Jason Richardson. That's dope. Cool, Khadijah. I'm going to come out with Big Shannon. That nigga got connects. Hadia says she's putting together a dialysis support group meeting. Bye-bye, Monique, with the little boobies. Have a good day, dear. Folks, appreciate y'all tuning in. I hope y'all learned something today. Thank you all for your support. Keep that energy positive. I pray for the safety of y'all. Pray for the safety of your children. Hope that your day goes well. And also make sure you tune in tomorrow. Another episode of Keeping It Real with Big Roll in the morning, 9 a.m. Folks, have a good day. Holla at your boy.
In slow motion, it's up and go.
You can get mad if you want, yeah, I said it, it's the round set that sends you out head first, forget it, just pretend it's a dream. If you get offended, line of scrimmage, I'm out here on beast mode, defensive, stop acting like skinned and pretend that I'm joking in my taker hat, dropping with the slam when I choke them. I'm the captain of flagship role, killing them softly. If it ain't iced coffee or double D's, you lost me. It's big road season, yeah, I said it, and I don't have to give a reason, yeah, I said it, and all that blah, 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 you dedicate. It's all facts out here, cause yeah, I said it. It's big roll season, yeah, I said it. And I don't have to give a reason, yeah, I said it. And all that blah, 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 you can dedicate. It's all facts out here, cause yeah,